My name's Kevin Doherty, and I'm the defensive coordinator and secondary coach here at Harvard University. What I'd like to accomplish today is to give you the fundamental core drills and techniques of defensive backfield play, things that we believe here at Harvard. We're holding nothing back here today. We're giving you basic fundamentals. We're going to start with movement. We're going to start with agilities, all the movements that a defensive back would need at the end of the day. From there, we're going to progress to tackling, followed by block destruction, and then we're going to give you some key football drills, ball drills, specifically takeaway drills that we feel are real important in terms of developing a defensive back. First thing we want to start with is stance. To us, a stance has to be functional, it has to be comfort. Bottom line is we want to maintain that stance throughout our back pedal, so it's got to start with a good base. We're going to ask our guys to go with a narrow base because our first movement is going to be backwards. So just like running forwards with a narrow base, we want to be able to work backwards with a narrow base. So roughly you see about a 6-inch split between the 2 feet. In terms of the stagger, we're going to go toe to instep, all right, as a general stagger, again, in a back pedal. When we're moving backwards, this is how we're going to start. We want our knees bent, and we want the butt down. And basically what we're looking for is to get that front chin over the front toe, all right, as a basic coaching point right there. We ask our players to pick their arms up, all right, but have them tight to the body. So his elbows should be almost rubbing against his body, but in a relaxed manner. So tight to the body, but relaxed, all right? As far as weight distribution, we want our weight to be primarily on that front foot. So you're looking for about 60 to 70% of your weight on that front foot. And ideally, the rest of the distribution of the weight is on the inside balls of the feet. So that's the beginning of our stance. Head up, probably want to pick ourselves up a little bit, Dan, okay? And in general, in terms of the depth of the stance, if Dan were to just hang his hands down gently to his side, okay, his hands should roughly be at knee level, okay? But again, we want to pick those pick those elbows up, bring them tight to the body, and work from that base right there. Again, there should be balance, all right? And now that's our starting point. Here's the view from the side. Again, narrow base, slight stagger, toe to instep, knees bent, butt down, slight straight or slight arch in the back, all right? Hands gently down at the knees, but then again, we pick them up so they're ready to be used right from the get-go. Head and eyes are up, chin over the toe. From a teaching perspective, we want to start in the simplest form. So first thing I'm going to ask Dan to do is I'm going to ask for a one step, a 6-inch step. All right, and right now we're creating the emphasis that we want no false step. We have to do it correct every single time. So again, working out of his stance, all I'm going to command him to do is step, and we'll get a 6-inch step. Sit, step. Just a short, quick step. All right, not elongated. Again, step. Again, all we're doing is pushing off that front foot. A quick 6-inch step. From the side, Dan. Step. Again, short, quick step. One more time. Step. Okay. Again, we're just pushing off that front foot. Okay. Facing this way. Step. Short step. Again. Step. All right. The key things in this situation with the back pedal in the start, if you're having problems with players with a false step, the emphasis that you really have got to do is put more weight on that front foot. And if anything, you really probably want to focus that chin, again, on that toe. So you're getting that weight distribution and you eliminate the false step in that regard. Once we've established the stance and that first step, now we're going to work into the pedal, all right? Again, the key thing is that we work right out of that stance. So we're going to send Dan out. Typically, we'll give him a visual command to send out. Not an audio command, but a visual command. So when I tap this ball, Dan's going to start his back pedal, and then we'll coach it up as we go through. Okay? You'll notice a couple of things right there, all right? Dan's coming out. His first initial step is short and quick, but his first 3 steps of the back pedal are deliberate and slow, all right? So we really want to come out slow. The reason why we do that is we're doing it for the 3-step pass, all right? We want to be prepared to break on the 3-step pass, and we want to be under control within those first 3 steps. As we get past the 3-step, all right, now we're going to elongate our stance. We're going to take bigger strides and quicker strides as we work downfield. Okay, coaching points that we have to stress in the back pedal. First of all, we want to maintain that narrow base, all right? We want to maintain that tight relationship of the elbows tight to the body. All right, I'm not going to overcoach the arms, but what I do demand is that our elbows are always tight to the body, and if there's a rotation of the arms, the rotation takes place at the shoulders. So the rotation takes place at the shoulders, not at the elbows, not at the hands, it's at the shoulders. But if you notice, again, we'll send Dan back out again, how everything is compact. Everything is compact in that. And what we talk about all the time in this pedal is keep everything within the framework of your body, all right? Everything is tight to your body. Your feet are tight, your arms are tight, your chin maintains a relationship over the toes. From the side angle, what we want to see right here is we do not want to see a lot of space in between his feet. So as we work and reach for grass, as we work backwards, you will not see his feet come very high off the ground. He wants to basically scrape his feet off the ground. So here we go. Short, quick steps, not a lot of air in between that, all right? And then you notice every time we do a drill, there'll always be a finish to that drill. Dan chopped his feet down. Typically, I will give a visual command in terms of that, but again, he's chopping his feet down, so we always have a finish to the drill. The next technique we want to work on is what we call the weave, all right? The weave has been designed to allow our defensive back to maintain a horizontal relationship on the receiver. So we always have a vertical relationship. This is our horizontal relationship. It could be either inside or outside, but with the receiver generally trained to take away our leverage, we're going to teach to maintain that leverage. So we're going to start with a weave. Starts very simple. We're going to start in the back pedal, all right? And then I'm going to move Dan to a side, all right? Main coaching points with the weave, all right, is that the hips and shoulders maintain a square relationship to the target. So we want to keep those hips and shoulders square as we work in our back pedal, just like a back pedal. Work it one more time, Dan. What you'll see, his feet, basically his foot is pushing off in a direction, but we're still reaching back. All right, so we're working in a direction, but we are reaching and pushing off that far foot. Again, like the back pedal, everything maintains a tight relationship, stays within the framework or the core of the body. All right, relaxed upper arms, but tight to the body. Probably the most important transition we have to teach defensive backs as they work out of their pedal is to open downfield, all right, to cover the deep ball. So we're going to drill this open technique every day, and that's exactly what we call it, opening. All right, Dan is going to start in the back pedal. We're going to give him a visual command to open up and turn and run straight down the line. And then we're going to throttle him down. Again, always having a finish to the drill. Now, bringing Dan back. The thing that I'm going to teach these guys right from the get-go, day one, all right, is you always want to point a foot in the direction that you're heading. All right, and that's not an easy thing to do right now because Dan has one foot pointed straight at the camera. Dan, let's try to get a foot pointed directly where you want to go. Okay, that's a pretty hard movement to make right there. As a 42-year-old guy, I have trouble. I can only get 3/4 of the way there. All right, what we need to emphasize with this drill is two things. There's two coaching points that we really stress. One is to hop that far foot up so we can get that. We'll buy some time in the air for us to make that transition. The second thing we focus on is violently punching our elbow out and down to, again, accentuate the explosion and the burst. Every transition that we make, we want to have a burst to it. So we're coming out of the back pedal and bursting. So we'll go one more time. Again, we throttle him down. Again, you'll see on the video that Dan's foot hopped up. All right, and he was able to make that transition in one step, and that's the key, transitioning in one step. This is it from the side view. Again, you'll see Dan hop that foot up and explode. Again, this is a transition that we need to do every day. The next transition we teach is the drive, or the movement forward. Again, drive is the term that we use. So we're going to get Dan in a back pedal, and give him a visual command to move forward. Okay, the command that I use, or the coaching point that I use on the drive, is to stick it. The key thing is to get a foot quickly stuck in the ground. All right, so we want to stick a foot in the ground. All right, coaching point, again, all the time is we want to get our feet and maintain everything within the core of our body. The foot may come out slightly within the core on the first step, but as we sink our hips and drop our butt, all right, it's going to finish within the core. And that's, if it doesn't, that's typically when you're seeing defensive backs slide out. All right, so we'll do this one more time. The other thing you'd notice, all right, when Dan made his transition forward, again, he got the foot stuck in the ground, he's rolling off that front foot. I'm not going to overcoach feet as long as they maintain themselves within the core of the body. But what I want to do is give them something to a coaching point that will get them going in the right direction. And this is where I want violent arm action. All right, so what we should see in this drill is Dan pumping those arms as fast as he can, tight to the body again, but you'll see an acceleration of his arm and see more violent arm action when we're doing this. The view from the side should look like this. Again, there's the efficiency to the stance. Again, we're working out of the stance. His knees are bent, his butt's down on the transition. All right, we got to get that foot stuck in the ground, drive off that front foot, all right, and accelerate those arms. So again, without overcoaching feet, keep them underneath the core, all right, and get those arms violently pumping.